Emergency and emergency. We're going to do an emergency extreme bastards wrestling podcast episode. Yes, it's emergency because I figured we're going to talk about some things.
Yeah, macho fight.
Hell, freaking yeah. We're going to be talking about some things that happened in the feud, that have happened recently in the world of professional wrestling. So, and I figured I wanted to kickstart this whole thing off with TNA Genesis. As I'm pulling up the results for what happened last night. If we can pull them up here, I'm looking at what do we have here. We had first up, we had a matchup for the X Division, the TNA X Division title between the champion Moose and the challenger Ace Austin, who's representing Moose representing the System, Ace Austin representing Bullet Club, I believe. I don't know if he's still representing Bullet Club or not, but that's one we will look at later as we got one viewer. Moose retained the championship in 15 minutes. Thoughts?
I didn't really watch the thing, so I really can't say.
Fair enough. This was a match I didn't. This was a match
I didn't.
Yeah, obviously. I didn't watch this match either.
Yeah, I'll give credit. I like Moose. I think Moose is a great character.
Yeah. We'll get into some more important things within the show as we go. We got 3 people watching. Thank you for tuning in to this emergency Extreme Bastards Wrestling podcast. Next matchup, we had a tag team matchup between Eric Young, a veteran and a TNA original, and Steve Macklin versus Brian Myers, who I think a lot of people will know him in the WWE days as Kurt Hawkins, and Eddie Edwards, who used to be one half of the Wolves, but no, that team no longer exists. Eric Young and Steve Macklin pick up the win. Not much else. Like I said, I guess you say the originals win this. Another title match. We got Spitfire, which is the team of Danny Luna and Jody Threat, defeat Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance. Ash by Elegance is the formerly known as Dana Brooke in WWE. And they also have someone with the concierge. Spitfire retained the titles. Here's a big match. Here's a big one that I think we may want to talk about. Jordynne Grace versus Tessa Blanchard. This is Tessa's first match back in TNA/Impact in years. We have not seen her have a match since she was the TNA World Champion. Yes, I didn't mention Knockouts Champion. I mentioned World Champion. She was the first female to win the TNA World title. I think she beat Sami Callihan for the belt. But this is her first match back. Yeah. She ended up leaving the company, but she's facing Jordynne Grace. This is some things were going on in this match. Obviously, I think Jordynne Grace was she's on her way out. She's gonna be in WWE or NXT soon. So as tradition in the business, when you're on your way out, you put somebody over in this case, and in this case, she put over the returning Tessa Blanchard. And I'm gonna probably find another one. Let me see if I can find. Trying to find. Okay, there you go. Here we go. Now I can pull up. Now I can pull up all the matches and the results. Yes, there was also a couple of other matches before that. Jake Something defeats Ashante the Adonis, who is on the NXT brand, which is something. No, this was like I think a pre-show match. So Jake Something defeats Ashante the Adonis, and Frankie Kazarian defeats Leon Slater. We'll talk about Kazarian later. But yes, Tessa Blanchard defeats Jordan Grace by pinfall. As like I said, Jordan Grace is on her way out. Is pretty much out at that point. We'll get to two matches that are about to, be people leaving. But what are your thoughts on this match between Tessa Blanchard and Jordan Grace, Mike?
From high, Jordan Grace, future WWE superstar in the making.
Yep.
That's a blank.
There was something.
One I could throw out.
Yep. I think, during the match, there were some chants going on in that match. I think some people were chanting on Tessa Blanchard, she's a racist in that match, which was surprising to a lot.
Wrestling fans are known to be stupid.
Yeah, but there has been. I think people. Yeah, but I think there were some comments she made about certain people or certain races and stuff like that, and I think that's why people said all that. But yep, like you said, Jordan Grace is going to be a future WWE superstar. She's already on her way out. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out here shortly that Jordan Grace is WWE bound, pretty much. We got another matchup, which basically is another.
Right. NXT bound, I would say.
NXT, yeah, NXT, yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised if she shows up in the Rumble too. But next up, we got another matchup that has quitting implications. Josh Alexander versus Mike Santana. This was a I quit match. Mike Santana defeated Josh Alexander. And Josh Alexander not only said I quit, but he also is quitting TNA as well. So he too might be WWE bound, or he might be I don't know where he's gonna be, but obviously these two are. Mike Santana's a former AEW wrestler. He's come back over to TNA. Josh Alexander was a homegrown talent in TNA for quite a bit. He's even a former TNA world champion. But I think whatever company gets Josh Alexander is going to have a hell of a talent. He's an incredible wrestler. So, hopefully wherever he goes, I hope he does well. Thoughts, Mike?
It's okay, I guess. Like I said, I didn't really see the match, so I don't have.
But what are your thoughts on the wrestlers in the match? Josh Alexander and Mike Santana.
I've never seen any of them wrestlers, so Quagmire, I guess. I don't know.
Okay. Well, here's some people next up we got some. Here's some people you might instantly recognize. We got a tag team match for the TNA World Tag Team Champions between the current champions, the Hardy Boys, Jeff and Matt Hardy, facing the Rascals, which is Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. But also, before I think the match started, the NXT Tag Team Champions, Praxium, which is Nathan Frazier and Axiom, came out to want to watch the match. And, they did end up getting involved in said match. But the Hardys end up winning the match. Thoughts?
Frankly, I think the Hardys need to retire. But that's just me. I think really Jeff and Matt has nothing more to prove in the wrestling industry. They've won gold every promotion they've went to, and frankly, if this is maybe this is a farewell tour for them. I think they're going to end it end it in WWE. That's just me. I think.
I mean, there is that.
Matt and Jeff Hardy are
I
probably.
do. Yeah, but I do want to mention here before we get into some other matches, I do want to mention that yes, there is a partner. WWE and TNA extend the partnership for multi years. I don't know how long it'll be. So you might see some TNA people in NXT or on Raw or SmackDown or something. Some might show up in the Rumble. But that's something I mentioned.
Expect to see TNA people in the Rumble.
Yes. Yeah, we may see that. We may. Here's another, and here we go with another matchup, another title match. These last few are going to be title matches. Masha Slamovich defended the TNA Knockouts World Title against Rosemary. She won by pinfall, and then after the match, NXT's or main roster bound Cora Jade shows up, and just it was just a confrontation. They stared face to face, which could see something in TNA, maybe a potential match for the TNA Knockouts title, but there was a tease of that. This might be an interesting matchup. Thoughts on the match and thoughts on Masha Slamovich and Cora Jade possibly having a match.
I have no thoughts.
Fair enough. And we get to the main event. Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler in WWE, defended the TNA World Championship against Joe Hendry, and finally, Joe Hendry wins the TNA World Title. But there was some other stuff that was going on. I mentioned Frankie Kazarian. He had the call your shot thing, which means he could call your shot for the world title or anything, really. But was stopped by JBL, who's making an appearance tonight on Raw. But in the end, Joe Hendry, Joe Hendry hit the standing O for a second time to get the 1, 2, 3 on Nick Nemeth and winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Thoughts on this match, Mike?
Thoughts on the match? First comment, screw JBL. Second comment, I thought it was a great match. Third, Joe Hendry is a fucking superstar, people.
Yes.
He has the it factor.
Yeah, definitely. And a lot of people are so happy he's finally won the TNA World Title after tonight. This was like, gosh, they're not gonna pull the trigger on this guy. Come on, give him the goddamn bell. Otherwise, he's going over to WWE or something like that. I do think he's still going.
Also, supposedly, also Henry's kind of on his way out of TNA soon. Supposedly, so give him the title now, let him run it, and then he's off to bigger, better things.
Obviously, that is definitely true. But it's like, come on, give him the damn bell. He's been busting his ass, trying to get over. He's super over. He's still over as hell. Like, come on, it's about damn time to give him the bell.
Well, hey, y'all now, Hillbilly Mike here, and Hillbilly Mike just wants to say something. TNA is the best goddamn wrestling promotion in the world. So is WWE. And then on AEW, you can suck my dick because Tony Khan ain't that great of an owner. Hillbilly Mike. That John Cena, supposedly there's rumors that John Cena might appear in TNA.
Yeah, during this retirement tour, there's a possibility of that.
And there's rumors that JBL.
No, it's confirmed. JBL is showing up. Well, at least we know JBL is showing up tonight on Raw. So that is confirmed because I think they posted a graphic that JBL is showing up tonight on Raw. But I think he may just be a a speaking part or something like that, a promo. Maybe he's going to be talking about Cena, because
And
him and Cena,
also,
he played a part in Cena's
also,
rise in
the
the
third,
company.
the third, also AJ Styles too could appear in TNA. Remember,
That is true. Yep, provided he gets
hell,
cleared and stuff.
hell, hell, Cody could even appear in TNA.
Yep, you might see some TNA people. We saw a few WWE. We saw some NXT people show up. We saw Fraxium, who are the
Okay,
NXT Tag Team
okay.
Champs. We saw Ashante the Adonis show up in a pre-show match. We saw Cora Jade show up. You could get anybody.
Since WWE has a partnership with TNA, this is a two-part question, and you guys in chat can answer this too. Pick
Yes.
5 men and women to be in the Rumble for TNA to appear in WWE, and then let's just say at WrestleMania, Team TNA versus Team WWE at a WrestleMania or SummerSlam.
That could be that could be
Who
very
would your 5 wrestlers be for that team and for Mania and for Rumble?
I think there's some obvious ones that could show up from TNA in the Rumble. Obviously, Joe Hendry. That makes a lot of sense. I could see Nick
And
Nemeth making. I
Jeff,
could see Nick Nemeth making a return in the Rumble. Moose
you
could
said Hardy
possibly.
still in that.
Hardys could be another one.
Hardy.
They could show up in the Rumble and stuff, and eventually get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I think them coming back would be like, oh,
How
it's
about
just to get them into the WWE Hall of Fame. That might be the reason they might come back, is get them in the Hall of Fame and stuff.
how about
Maybe you
having
have
how about
retirement
how about
matches and stuff.
so if they're gonna do it at WrestleMania. Do it against one of the NXT tag teams or one of the young up and coming tag teams in WWE
Yeah,
at Mania.
Fraxium is probably one of those. The thought of Fraxium facing the Hardys is like, that would be something right there. And those are titles that I think with the Hardys, maybe just belt collecting or something like that, trying to get titles they've never won before.
Yeah,
And the NXT tag team titles they've never won, and just put that on their resume, like, oh, we're former NXT tag team champions. So it's like, I wouldn't be against it. It's the Hardys, they're a big draw and all that. I would be I
yeah,
wouldn't be upset about that if they win the NXT tag team titles, because it's like, oh, those are belts they've never won, and they're trying to get every belt they've never won before. So it's like, those are the one tag titles they've never won yet. But yes, obviously we said about the WWE TNA partnership. There's a lot of people who are probably going to come over to WWE now or get a contract with WWE. I think Josh Alexander and Jordan Grace are going to be obvious ones that maybe getting contract. They probably might be in NXT or something like that, which I can see. That's good. Those are going to be some good matches with some of those. I could easily think of so many dream matches with Jordan Grace. Her versus Julia, her versus Stephanie Vaquer,
Charlotte.
her versus the. There's so many dream matches with Jordan Grace that we so desperately need at this point. It would be insane.
Imagine she comes into the Rumble, wins the Rumble, and challenges mommy.
Oh,
Challenges.
well, obviously that would be another dream match of that. But I think with Josh Alexander, there's probably some. You have to think of him versus Chad Gable. That's a good technical wrestling bout right there. Who else would work? Him versus Oba Femi would be. Him versus Oba Femi would be a really, really good match. Who?
Yeah, put him versus Jacob. Put him versus Jacob.
Jacob Fatu. Yeah, that'd be another good one for Josh Alexander. There's so many good match possibilities.
Have him in TNA over Femi, Ridge Holland, Swerve Strickland. Just put him through the rope. Put him right up through the.
I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think Swerve's with AEW, and then I don't think that's ever gonna happen. But
no, not Swerve. It's a
Strickland. But
no, I said Williams. Trick Williams.
Oh, Regal, you mean?
Yeah.
I want to know who that
Uh,
William person is.
I can see JBL making a bout in the Rumble, maybe throwing over two people and then getting eliminated.
Yeah, that could be another reason he shows up on Monday. But yes, well, I want to mention another thing that also happened last night. This was between this was on a show for GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. It involves PCO. He is, I don't know if he still is, but he was the TNA Digital Media Champion. And he after he had a match, he proceeded to destroy the TNA Digital Media Championship. And he's cut up, I guess you could say, a true promo. And he's been out of TNA since the end of 2024. And in a nutshell, he basically there's not nobody's gonna put a belt on him anymore after what he just did. What are your thoughts on that, Me Metal Mike?
I don't know too much about GCW to really give an opinion. That's a new wrestling company I just heard of recently. So
Fair enough. But what do you think of PCO doing this?
uh, I don't know much about PCO.
He is
I have
he's
no
a
knowledge.
more he's been in WWE before. I think he was one half of the mount of those bounty. He was one half of the tag team that was with the Mountie, I believe. And he was super over with this whole PCO character, which is kind of a Frankenstein gimmick. And he won in this gimmick. He won the ROH world title. Hold on, he was kind of in a storyline with somebody in TNA, and he won the Digital Media Championship. And I think this is kind of stupid on his part because I don't think he just screwed himself out of ever winning another championship again. That might as well be his last championship because I think at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if people don't hire him anymore after this. Or put a belt on him. If they're hiring him, they're probably having him be kind of a special attraction in these, all that stuff. But I think that was kind of a stupid decision on his part. You wanted to talk about AEW before we started this live. You want
A
to talk
couple
about it?
things about AEW. Yeah, I'm just pulling up the articles up on my phone, so give me like a few seconds. Interact with the chat real quick. Let me just pull some stuff up.
Yes. So we got 3 people in the chat right now.
So,
Who do we got in the chat right now?
for one, Dr. Britt, we have people. Dr. Britt Baker is done with AEW apparently.
Yep, that all checks out. Yeah, there's several people in AEW that are kind of done with the company with AEW now. I think it's her. I think her.
Malachi, that's the biggest one right now, being Malachi Black.
Yeah, exactly. He's. I
don't
know if he's gonna be. I don't know if he's gonna be. Yeah, he probably will be going back to WWE. We just saw Penta debut in WWE. He had a great match against Chad Gable on Raw. I don't know what's next for Penta, but obviously we know Malachi, aka also
Ray Phoenix is right behind him.
Yeah, he'll probably be rejoined. He'll be joining WWE. He will definitely be joining WWE, and there'll be a great team there. Who else is probably gonna? We probably know Ricky Stark is frustrated with the company now.
AKA Miro.
Yep.
Miro.
He might be.
Miro, AKA Rusev.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in the Rumble. But I don't know what they would do with him, though. That's the question. That's the real thing about that.
Ricky Stark.
Yeah, he's another one. Yeah, you have Britt Baker, Malachi Black, Ray Phoenix. You have Miro. You have Ricky Starks. There's a lot of people who are unhappy if
the big thing I want to talk about with AEW is one is a rant, and the other is what a great promo by MJF and Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, the MJF. Let's talk about the MJF Jeff Jarrett thing because they had a
MJF
great
making
promo. He made. I think one of the
MJF
quotes he
bringing
mentioned
up
is
a
like,
certain.
he mentioned Jeff Jarrett is the last thing you see before your favorite wrestling company dies. And then another thing, he kept mentioning Owen Hart and saying he's using Owen Hart's
That's the
name.
WCW. That's a jab to WCW. Definitely.
No, if it's not Jeff Jarrett's fault why WCW died, I think the whole reason behind that is freaking one person, Vince Russo. Piece of crap.
And now, if you want to pull my screen up real quick, now the big AEW rant. Hey,
go for it.
Why are all these so-called AEW? Why are these so-called AEW fans sucking Tony Khan's dick? Because he's turning into Vince McMahon and he's ruining his own company. I hate to say it. I hate to be that guy, but Tony Khan he's AEW is a shell of what it used to be.
What's up?
I remember when AEW started out, they did cruise. They did shows on cruise ships, and it was all just for wrestling. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about making this guy that. It was just about bringing real wrestling back into the business. And Tony Khan failed at that. Ran over.
Yep. And now you can see some of the arenas not looking as well. I think I just went to smaller arena now because that episode of Dynamite they were in a smaller venue, and that's what they needed to do because they ain't selling out. They're not selling out for big arenas anymore unless they can try to with those big pay-per-views. Most of the time, I think they're going to be sticking to smaller venues now, which is basically that's what they needed to do. They need to be in a smaller arena and stuff now.
This is why when you start 10 people, if you want to start a wrestling company, don't fucking poke the bear above. Don't just go fucking poking after WWE right off the fucking bat. That's a mistake.
Yep. Because that deters a lot of other people who are getting into this that they want to see this, but it's like, why would I want to see this? It's just like, you're turning your possibly new fans away. Anyway,
let's get into WWE.
Yes. This is probably going to be the last thing we'll talk about here on this Emergency Extreme Bastards Wrestling Podcast episode. WWE, obviously, we got a lot of stuff. I think Royal Rumble's coming around the corner here. Obviously, we said Penta. We got the Raw stuff happening tonight. We're gonna have to look on here. WWE, what do we got happening tonight? Oh, we got Seth Rollins facing Drew McIntyre tonight. Obviously, gonna have a promo from JBL. You might be talking. Then we have Sami Zayn. He speaks. Lyra Valkyria, who just won the Women's IC. New Day are going to be in action. Jey Uso is going to be in that.
New Day.
And then we're going to also have Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective, which is going to be a regular tag match. Yeah, what are your thoughts on these that are going to happen here on Raw tonight?
Okay, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. That match is gonna be down to a no decision because because of a certain CM Punk who has beef with both Drew and Seth. I have a feeling that's gonna lead to a triple threat match at
some point
Royal Rumble.
That's probably going to happen. Yes.
I I I had Drew winning that over Punk's screwing over Seth.
Yep.
New Day, they're gonna get booed, and they're not gonna
Yep, they're gonna
be
be in
able to
action.
speak, and then
We're gonna see. We're gonna see if they have a new entrance or not. Maybe they will, but who knows? I don't.
yeah.
Yeah, I think this will. I
Lyra,
think. Oh yeah, she may be in a match tonight. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if she defends the title tonight. But I think that's about
yeah.
it for everything. Anything else you got to mention?
What was the last match?
Damage Control, which is I believe Dakota
Okay,
Kai and
okay.
Yeah,
I think I think we're seeing the end of Damage Control as a team coming very soon before Rumble.
yeah, definitely.
Dakota doesn't seem to be playing off a heel character anymore. She seems to be off doing her own thing. And I think that's when Io and who's the other chick? I forget her name now.
Kairi Sane,
Been
Kairi
injured.
Sane.
Kairi Sane. Io and Kairi Sane kick her to the curb.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, well that's gonna do it for this short but very last minute, like a quick emergency extreme bastards wrestling podcast episode here. We might do more of these in the near future. I don't know how many we're gonna do, but whenever we have something that's kind of big in the wrestling world, we figured why not talk about it. So, got anything else to say before we end this, Mike?
Yeah. Don't be a wrestling poser. Listen to
Right.
metal. Watch wrestling.
Absolutely. We will see y'all later.